All right, section 3.6, data encapsulation. What we're going to see out here is how, again, we take the information and we encapsulate it to make sense on a broader scheme. So we take data and we break it into segments, but we're actually going to join our segments to other people on the network. Segmentation is the idea of taking big chunks of data, breaking them into smaller bits to be able to send them out. Now, multiplexing is the process of adding multiple segments onto a single wire. So think about your house. You have your computer's connected to the World Wide Web. You're streaming me while I'm yelling at you at the microphone. You are possibly on a web page. You may be streaming music at the same time. You may also be streaming Netflix on another TV. How does your network separate out that traffic? How does your network know what information is supposed to go to your computer versus what's supposed to go to your streaming your TV or to your phone? How does it handle that? This whole encapsulation process is what the process is that allows us to see where packets need to go and work with. And then multiplexing, we're just combining all these things down to a single wire in order for them to basically hit to the World Wide Web. So you have a single wire at your house that connects to the World Wide Web, probably through your internet service provider. And on that, if you were to put a LAN tap there and you were to suck in all the packets with Wireshark, which you can do, by the way, you can suck in all the traffic through Wireshark for the entire network. It's really cool. You would see all the packets that your entire house has and where they're going. And this addressing and sequencing allows you to actually know where those packets are going. Now, again, when we talk about data encapsulation, we've got to remember the protocols that are being used and how we're going to, how the protocols work independent of the other layers. But again, I want to show you this data encapsulation from the top down. So this is a user who's trying to get their email from a server. Now, what they're doing is they're going to take their data and they have like big chunk of data they're going to break into smaller segments. So this is the data that is being sent. I have one big block of data. What's going to happen though is this is the top layer. We're then going to add our TCP information. So if you can see my Lego blocks, by the way, these are some of the best toys to play with. So I have my data. I'm adding a TCP segment on, not modifying this at all, adding TCP. This becomes a segment. Then I'm going to add the IP information, destination, so my IP address and where it's going. Sorry, I had that wrong. Oops. My son does like to play with this block sometimes and he messes them up. So now we have source, our source, destination, where it's going. This is now a packet. So we talk about networking, we talk about packets all the time. This is now a packet. Then we add the Ethernet header onto it. This becomes a frame. Now the frame is then converted to some kind of binary. If it's wireless, we're converting wireless signals to binary. If it's fiber optic, it's pulses of light. Copper, we're doing changes in electricity. And we will convert this entire thing over to be sent to the World Wide Web and be used and manipulated. Now, this is the encapsulation process. So again, we see our data, TCP information, IP information, and Ethernet. Now, what's going to happen in the next section, we're going to see what happens to this packet as it transcends or is transmitted over the World Wide Web. When it gets to the other side, though, we're kind of skipping a couple of chunks here. The de-encapsulation process is the reverse of what your computer did or what the client did. So again, the binary data is being received. We're going to check the Ethernet frame to make sure it is for our device and remove that frame. We're then going to look at the IP information and make sure we have we are the correct location for that packet. We then see the TCP information, so we know which application is going to receive this data. And then we have our data that is going to be used in order to basically access a web page or download emails. So that was section 3.6. In section 3.7, we're going to learn about how data access works and how we basically look at the encapsulation in order to get the packet to where it's going to.